Hi viewers, welcome to Techie Track YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about data types, constants and variables in C language. So in our earlier session we discussed about what is the basics of C and how we can configure the C language in our system, and we discussed about the online compiler and we saw a simple program also, right? Okay. So today we are going to discuss about data types. Okay. So first of all, we just go through this program. So if you see that the left side, we have that include stdio.h. Stdio means standard input output header file, because we are going to use input output functions like printf. Printf is a output function. So it will help you to print the statement. What is the string or what is the value variable you are giving, that it will it will print the value. Okay. So here printf of my roll number is 7. I just typed inside the double quotes, and in the next line I just typed that my name is Smith. Once I compile and execute this program, it will give the output like my roll number is 7 and my name is Smith. So here what I'm trying to achieve, every time I will give a roll number and name, so it needs to print the values. Whatever I will give, that it needs to print the values. But here it is simply printing what is the value I typed inside the program, that is called hard code. So I hard coded those things in the program. It's simply printing that. It won't ask any inputs from me, correct? Because I just hard coded and run it. Okay. What is a data type? So in the below example, if you see that I have a couple of items like 1001. 1001 is what? It is a number. Next value is car. What is a car? Car is a collection of alphabets, right? Okay. And the next value is 98.007. So it is a decimal point variable, okay? And 99 percentage is the percentage value. In the example 2, the row looks like first value is integer, that is number. In C, we are declaring the number as a integer. That is the data type, because the type of the data, the type of 101 is number. So in C, we needs to say like integer. Next value is Smith. Smith contains collection of alphabets, right? So collection of alphabets. So a single alphabet in C is called character. Collection of alphabets, that is collection of characters, are called strings. String in C language. Okay. So we need to call it as a string. We should not call it as a word. Okay. Next 99 is a again same integer value. 93, 100, those things are the integer values. And true is there, true or false, right? Those values are called Boolean variables. Either it is a true or false, 0 or 1. Okay. And in the first line, right, that 98.007, the decimal point value is there, right? So that is called float. Okay. If you have any data with decimal point, you need to call the type of the data as float or double. Okay. So every data is having its own type. Either it will be a string or float or double or integer or characters. Okay. So in C language there are three types of data types are there, because if you see in the chart I just explained about that basic, derived, user defined. Now we are going to discuss about basic data types only, because derived and the user defined is the advanced concepts. We can see that in the upcoming session. Okay. Okay, so integer, character, float, double, boolean is there. Okay, fine. So we understand about the data type, and what we are going to do, we are going to know about variables. Okay, so variables, what is a variable? For example, you want to store some information into the memory. Once you store that, you need to retrieve the information from the memory. So to store the value and fetch the value, that is retrieve the value from the memory, you need to use the variables. So variables will be used to store and retrieve the data. Okay, so every data is having its type, we already discussed. So variables would have data type. Okay, so what is the syntax? So if you want to declare one variable, you need to follow certain syntax, correct? Certain format we need to follow it. Then only that C compiler will understand you are declaring a variable, because we need to ensure that we need to inform the compiler I am going to declare a variable, I am going to print the statement. We need to give the instructions properly. If you are not giving the instructions properly, it will throw the error. The compilation won't be happen successfully. So here syntax of the first thing is data type. Next one is variables list. So for example, I am going to store the numbers. So what I am going to do that in, for example, integer a. So the variable a will contains some integer values like 1, 2, 3 kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, those kind of numbers I am going to assign that. Next one is float. Float f. You can give whatever the variable names you want that. Okay. You can give a, b, c, or you can give some appropriate names also. Okay. So float f. The value for the f will be a decimal point variable. Okay, so decimal means 9.33. Those kind of float values will be assigned to the float variable. Next one is character. That char means char, so nam is the variable name. So if you want to set the name to this variable, you need to declare the data type as character. Okay, char, that the 4 letter is there. You don't want to type like a character char cter. Okay. Okay, so in the below example you see that the first line is include stdio.h. So it is a standard input output header format. So main program gets started. So in the line number 4, the integer data type, the variable name called roll number is equal to 101. So I need to print the value. Okay, so if I want to print the value, I need to give the printf. My roll number is, I just give that, and the next one is I mention it as a percentage d comma roll number. So what is it? So while I run the program, if you see in the right side of the screen, the output is like my roll number is just printed. So after that it is printing the value of the roll number. The value of the roll number is 101. So what is the percentage d? That is called format string. Okay, if you want to print the value of a variable, you need to use the format string. Okay, so two things you need to do that. First one is you need to give the data type, declare the variable name with the appropriate data type, and if you want to print the value of the variable, you need to give the format string. Okay. Okay, so here you see that, right, that format string, it is an output method to print given content. So printf is the output method. It contains two parameters, two arguments. It is there. First one is format string, next one is argument list. So what is that? First one is the format string, means what kind of value you need to print that. So if you want to print the integer values, you need to give the format string as percentage %d, for float percentage %f, for character it is percentage %c, for string it is percentage %s. Okay. So in the same example I just re-executed here. So integer, so that's the reason I just give it as a percentage %d roll number. So it's simply giving the output. Okay. So if you see in the last highlighted line, percentage %s is string. So what is character and what is string? So character means it is a single alphabet. String means it's like a word. So a word contains n number of characters. In the same way, a string contains collection of characters. Okay. Okay. So while you are declaring the variables, you need to follow certain best practices. Like you have a certain do's and don'ts. You need to do certain things and you should not do certain things. Let's see that. What is the do's item? That variable name should start with alphabets. Okay, and it will be continued with digits and underscores. Okay, for example, if you see that, right, I just give the data type as char and the variable name is name. So it is starting with alphabet and integer roll underscore number, because C will accept this this underscore special character only. Okay, because underscore is a special characters. Apart from that, it won't accept any other special characters. Next set is float variables mark 1. If you see that, it is alphanumeric because alphabet and number is there in the variable name. So the mark 1 variable contains what value? It contains the mark details like 93.5. Those kind of float data will be assigned. And mark 2 is another variable name. Okay. And underscore total is another variable name because C is supporting this kind of format. In the right side of the tabular column, you see that the below kind of variable name format should not be accepted by the C language. Okay, you should not give it that. C can't accept this kind of variable names. What are all the things? If you see that the first one, right, integer 12 marks. Okay, if you start the variable name with the digits, right, it won't accept it. But if you are end the variable name with the numbers, it will accept it. The rule is either the variable name should be start with alphabet or it will be underscore character with alphabets. Okay. So in the next example, if you see that character EMP star NY gave that. Again, the C language won't accept this star special character. It will accept the underscore special character only. Okay. So next one is no white spaces within the variable name. If you see that in the example character is the data type and the name, right, I just give that N space A space M space E. So if you are giving in this way, C won't accept it because it is not accepting the white spaces in between the variable name. Okay. Next one is that variable name should not be the keywords or reserved words. What is the keywords or reserved words? Like I'm going to declare the variable like where data type of the variable is integer, but the variable name is I just give it as float. It is not making sense, but sometimes, right, the developers are giving in this way and the compiler won't accept it. Okay, so this is a simple example. If you see that integer for example, I'm going to use some for loops or for certain reasons I'm giving that. I just give that integer is a data type and I give the variable name as for. So for is one of the reserved word in the C language, so it won't accept it. Okay. So next move on to the simple program using the variables. So in the left side, right, what I am going to do that just I assign the values to the variables. In the line number 2, I just give the include stdio.h and the main program gets started. In line number 6, integer data type and roll number is equal to roll number is a variable name is equal to 101, and I am just giving the character name is equal to Smith. I just give that. I am printing these two variables values. Print of my roll number percentage %d comma roll number and your name is percentage %c comma name. I just give that. What it is happening in the right side? It is successfully printing the variable roll numbers value 101 and it is not printing the name. Why? Because if you see in the line number 7, character name is equal to Smith. If the data type is char and the variable will be the character variable. So the character variable should contains only one alphabet, but I assigned a simple word Smith. It contains 5 alphabets, right? Then C compiler won't accept it. So what I want to do that, so instead of character I need to declare it as a string. Okay, let's see that how it is working. This is a very simple program. Okay, so in line number 3, I just give the roll number is equal to 101 and if you see that character, name and I just give the square brackets. So if I give the square brackets, then the character variable will ready to accept the words. Okay, so I can assign n number of values to the variable. And the next one is float type mark 1 is equal to 99.5 and mark 2 is equal to 87 and total is equal to 0. I just give that. So here I used 3 kind of data types and 3 kind of variables. The roll number is a integer variable Name is a string variable and the data type is character, and mark 1, mark 2, total is the float variables. So it will give the decimal point values. So I simply give the printf statement. So printf of integer variable is percentage %d, that is the format string. So it is successfully printing the 101. And printf of percentage %s. So percentage %s means it will print the string. I will go to the previous program. What I done that I just give it as percentage %c because I assigned the character, so that's the reason I put it as percentage %c. But my mistake is I just give it, instead of giving the character, I give the string. That's the reason this program is not getting executed, not giving the result successfully. But here I give the character name and I give the square brackets, that is called array. So name array is a variable and I assign the string, and if you see the right side, it is successfully getting printed, because in line number 10 what it is there, my name is percentage %s. Percentage %s means string, so it is successfully printing the string value. And line number 11, 12, 13, all the things are float variables, so that's the reason that format string is percentage %f. So it is printing the mark 1 and mark 2, and total is equal to mark 1 plus mark 2 is equal to total value. So total also the float variable, so it is successfully printing the total. Okay, so hope you understand about that, how we can use the printf statement and a format string. Okay, so but here the challenge is I just hard code these values and it is dumping the result. So instead of that, I need to give the values in the runtime. That is called dynamically I need to give the value. Okay, because every time in this way I just hard coded all these things. So if I want to do the calculation for the next student, again I need to change the code and run the program. That is not the advisable way, right? For if the class is having 10 students or 100 students, every time I don't want to type the program and execute the program. That is not the proper approach, right? So that's the reason what I'm doing, that I'm going to give the inputs dynamically. So printf is used to print the value. So if you want to give the input to the program, you need to use the scanf method. Okay, so hope you know about the scanner and printer. So the browsing centers and other places, right, that printer, what it is do, that if you give the print, it will give the, it is output device. It is simply printing your content into the paper. Okay, the scanner, if you give the document inside the scanner, it will scan the data, scan the document and put it into your machine. In the same way, C program is having the scanf method. So you can just give the values, that value will be assigned to the variables, and we can do the calculation and manipulation. So it is a input statement. So scanf is having the same format like printf. It is also having the format string and argument list. The data types also having the same kind of format string, percentage %d, percentage %f, percentage %c and percentage %s. And this is a simple statement. Scanf of percentage %s, comma, ampersand name. That is, if you need to type shift 7, if you type that, this ampersand will come, ampersand name. Okay, so while the statement is getting executed, you need to give the input. That input data will be assigned to this variable. Okay, that is called scanf statement. Here we are seeing a very simple program. So again, that HDIO.h, from the line number 6 onwards, I just give the roll number. Here you can see I am not assigning any values because I am going to give the input at the runtime. So while you execute the program, first of all it will print the first line number 7. Enter your roll number. Just it will print that. So next one is scan of percentage %d ampersand roll number. So the cursor will be blinking in the output window. You need to type the number. I just type the number as 98. The next statement, I just print the input of the roll number. So printf /n. /n means it will print the next line. Next line. So I need to print the output in the next line. So that's the reason I just give that /n. Your roll number is percentage %d, comma, roll number. Roll number contains value is 98. So then it will be getting printed here. Okay. So this is the successful output of scanf. Let's see that one more example. So it is a little bit big program. From the line number 6 onwards, it is roll number and the character name, float, mark 1, mark 2, total. We already saw that. And we have the combination of printf and scanf statement, because I need to know what kind of data I need to give that, right? The scanf is used to get the input, but I need to uh, mention that which data I need to give that, right? So that's the reason I'm using printf of enter your roll number. Next line is scanf. So cursor will be blinking at that place. You need to give the roll number and name. Line number 13, 14 will ask enter your name. Line number 15, 16 ask your enter your mark 1, and line number 17, 18 will ask your enter your mark 2. So you need to give all these things. Looks like in the right side of the screen. So after that, what it will do, it will come to the line number 19. It will do the process mark 1 plus mark 2, and it will get the total. Again I will dump all the values like roll number, name, mark 1, mark 2, you already give that, and total is calculated successfully and it is getting printed here. Okay, this is a very simple program using scanf and printf. Okay, so we saw the variables printf and scanf. So if I'm changing the values of the variables dynamically, right, you get the point, because every time it will ask the values, you need to give whatever value you want that you can give that. But in certain scenarios you should not change the value of a particular variable. For example, you are going to do certain calculations, like you are going to calculate the area of a circle, or you are going to do certain difficult mathematical calculations, means certain things are already defined one, it's already having the values. For example, while you are doing the calculation of area of circle, that the formula is pi r square, right? So I'm just giving the variable as pi and assign some 3.14 some values I am getting assigned. Here the concept is, you don't want to change the value of a particular variable, then you need to declare that variable as a constant variable. Okay, so value of the constant can't be changed at the runtime. So every data is having its own type, right? Integer, float, character, long string, lot of things are there. So while you declare the variable, you just give the data type and variables list. If you want to declare the constant, you need to give one keyword called const. If you see the syntax and the example also, right? Const int a is equal to 2, then this is called constant variable, sorry, constant. Okay, so in the line number 2, include stdio.h main and constant float pi is equal to 3.14. So pi here it is a constant, okay, and the data type is float. So you can't change the value of a pi in the runtime. So again I am declaring two variables. For radius I just give it as r, and for area calculation I give the variable name as area. So now I will get the input from you. I just give the radius of the circle as 3. If you see the right side, it will do that. And in line number 10, area is equal to pi into r into r. It is a pi r squared, right? So that's the reason I just give it as pi into r into r. So it will calculate the area of the circle and it will print the result. Okay. So hope you understand about the difference between the constant and variables. So the variables value will be getting changed dynamically at the runtime of the program, but constant, you can't change the value of the variable at the runtime. So if you know the value of the particular variable already, you know that anyway it won't be getting changed anytime, then you can declare the variable as a constant. But if you want to give the values dynamically, then you need to declare it as a variable. So hope you understand about these concepts. Thanks for joining with us. Okay, happy coding. Bye bye.